In Toronto earlier today, the RCMP arrested Helmut Rauca, longtime resident of North York. Rauca is accused by West German authorities of murdering thousands of Jews during the Second World War.
That day, I found out that he was still alive, that he was the murderer of my people. I pulled down the blinds, and I didn't want to speak to anybody. I was completely devastated. Helmut Rauca was the commandant of the Kaunas ghetto. I remember if we saw him walking, we ran away. We were afraid of him, deathly afraid of him. I remember that day. Rauca, he was sitting on a mount with a whip and a dog and gloves. White gloves. He divided my grandfather to one side, my grandmother, my mother and father and me to the other side. We saw this multitude walking up the mountain, and we never heard from them again. They were shipped away. They were massacred. That was how I lost my grandfather. He was a sweetie. There was over 10,500 Jews murdered that day. My mother and I were taken away to Stutthof, and my father was taken to Dachau without us. My father did not want to live. So my father was killed when he couldn't work anymore. He gave up hope. I didn't want to live without my father because my father was my very best friend. I missed Auschwitz by a miracle. My mother didn't talk about it. I didn't talk about what happened. I didn't want everybody to feel bad. I was at home, and I opened the paper, and on the front of the page, I couldn't get up to go to school that day when I found out that he was living as my neighbor, and he lives 3 streets away. Canada let in this Nazi, and why he lived for 40 years there. I was supposed to go and testify in Germany, but he died in jail. So I decided maybe I shouldn't say anything, but when I found out that he lived and he was my neighbor, I decided it's time for me to speak. I started to speak, and I used to say, and now you cannot shut me up. And as long as I remember what I'm saying, I'm gonna go and speak. People need to know.